because, of course, we'll see whether Absolute made the right decision in going with Jack Attack instead of Robo.
That's right. It's going to be a case of Robo's revenge if they do manage to come out ahead in this game. And wouldn't be surprised if there was a top ban even coming out. Jack Attack does love certain champions to an extent.
Well, that's true. Jack Attack on the Maokai. It's almost synonymous at the moment. But he did used to play a whole lot of different champions back in the day. Zed and Gragas going to be banned away on the side of Sudden Fear. Sivir and Alistair on the other side. Sivir banned away towards Shiny there. Of course, Shiny sort of known for only being able to play Sivir.
Yeah, Shiny.
But he's excellent at it.
Exactly. He's a god on Sivir. So known to only really play the Sivir and go to the Corki, I believe, was his second default champion. So they're going to take that away from him. And Zed being banned, getting rid of that from mid-beast. Loves his Zed, Syndra, and I believe Jace was the fallback pocket third pick that he loves.
Yeah, of course. Does like to sit around on that Jace. He's played it a lot, actually, on previous teams. But we haven't seen too much of mid-beast in the top echelon of competitive play here in Oceania. So we'll see what he does decide to go with. Sudden Fear thinking about the Rek'Sai first up, and I think that pick that fits a Pink Bomby's style. Of course, known for his Lee Sin, played it in half of his games in the first split, so really likes having that earlier power spike, and she's really going to give that to him. They're going to lock it away.
Yeah, it is a smart decision given they banned two of the junglers away.
Yeah, exactly.
Managing to get the first pick themselves, I was expecting the response ban of the Rek'Sai, but it was a Hecarim.
Yeah, and Absolute waste no time at all. Jack Attack locking in the Maokai, surprise, surprise. And they've got Nautilus, most likely there for Mattress. Of course, Strawbella stepping out for this week. It is going to be Mattress, of course, the veteran of Team NV, standing in there in the support role. Did have a stint in the jungle, but, you know, his was Diamond, I believe, on the North American server before we even had Oceanic servers. This guy has been playing League of Legends for a very long time.
Oh, we could talk about Hamilton Mattress
Yes,
for days and not exhaust our supply of information on him, but we won't dwell on it too long.
Not all of it good.
No, but
I watched him try to evolve a Kazakh's Q in the middle of lane once.
So let's not dwell on that. He's in a different team now, in a different scenario, and the Nautilus
is a very different
most
scenario.
likely going to be the support, but we have seen a lot of jungle Nautilus, so don't be too surprised yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, could even be a top lane Nautilus. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, Perfection did actually play that one. Christmas Tree is thinking about the Thresh here for Patu. Of course, Patu known as a bit of a Thresh player, and Robo Santa, he's got his Gnar this time, and the last time that we saw Robo, he didn't have very much of a top lane champion pool to speak of.
No, and he does love that Gnar. So he started to expand on and build that champion pool a little bit wider, but getting back to that Gnar pick, so comfortable on it. I am really excited to see how he goes.
Yeah, and of course, I was more referring to the fact that all of the top lane champions were banned.
Whoa,
I'm not saying, not anything against Robo, not saying he can't play anything. Ooh. Malik, though, thinking about an Evelynn here. 31 seconds left to go, so they have a few decisions yet to make, but it is going to be the Lucian locked in here for Kulo.
Well, just to dwell on that last point, there was a Rumble available, so don't cut me off too quickly.
That's true, that's true.
But they've picked a Jarvan, straight up.
Yeah, actually, where is the Jarvan going?
This is a big mystery at the moment. I could give you an estimate, an educated guess on where they'll go to be the Jarvan jungle, Nautilus support, and Maokai in the top lane.
I thought we were pretty dedicated to the Maokai jungle.
That was just you, mate.
Okay.
I know you want it to happen, but it is unlikely.
Unfortunate. Shiny thinking about an Ari here for Christmas trees, but they're also thinking about a LeBlanc there, so we'll see what they do decide to go with. As far as the team comp that's already locked in here, Rusty, what do you think Sudden Fear are really going to be looking for? Because, of course, they've got a lot of sort of level 6 power with that Gnar around a dragon fight if the Rage is there, but with the Rek'Sai, who's going to work in that mid lane?
Well, they're going to need damage to get them through the stages where the tanks are going to be really good for them early. You said they've got a lot of level 6 power, and that is absolutely correct, but they need something. Tristana's the perfect example of it. Scaling, hyper carry style damage, and that's what they need, and they'll most likely lock that in.
Yeah, well, they've got scaling hyper carry damage coming out of both of those picks. Azir going to be locked in there for Christmas trees. We saw him play that in the last time that we saw Sudden Fear, but didn't quite have that much success. But Absolute, yet again, insta-locking that LeBlanc there for mid-beast, and we spoke about the fact that he loves playing his assassins. LeBlanc really does fit into that mold.
Exactly. It fits in perfectly to what mid-beast wants to do. And up against the Azir, it can be a dangerous lane. There can be a lot of damage taken in either direction, but LeBlanc's quite safe at dealing it and taking as little as possible. So quite a confident pick there with no hesitation into the Azir was that LeBlanc.
Well, that's true. And I mean, the Emperor's Divide is going to be something that you can't, I believe you can't distort through it, but you can go back to your distortion through that Emperor's Divide. So we'll see how Christmas Trees is going to be able to use that ultimate, whether he can block out any of the distortion damage, because that is the sweet play. If you manage to get that one to work out, then things are going to work for you there in the mid lane, but very, very difficult. And heading into this one, we haven't seen a Jarvan jungle in quite some time. We'll see how Malik does go on that one, because I guess they were trying to react to the early pressure that Rek'Sai is going to be capable of, but is Jarvan really that high priority of a pick? Is that something that you want to be looking for?
Priority-wise, Jarvan not that high and has not been played a whole lot lately. And
no.
They didn't opt. You said exactly why, though. They opted for the early pressure. They want something that can gank and keep up with the pressure that the Rek'Sai can put down. There was only really Nunu available left in the jungle. Gragas was banned, and that seems to be the two junglers that go hand in hand is the Rek'Sai and the Gragas. So they've sacrificed a bit of either late game scaling from the jungler with that level 6 power spike of the Sejuani style ultimates, or having the Nunu which can pressure and invade. They've instead gone for kill pressure, damage early, and just lots of damage.
Yeah, just making sure they've got as much damage as possible. Of course, you've got the knock up there as well. So, of course, Jarvan, ready to gank from about level 2, so he can really start putting on the pressure if he wants to. But this might be a case of Malik just having his champion pool exhausted, because the majority of what we've seen thus far from Malik has been the Rek'Sai, the Jarvan, the Gragas, and, of course, the Sejuani. So he may not have really known what he was in for. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are, of course, into that loading screen. Tweet us. Let us know exactly who you think is going to win with that hashtag SFWin and, of course, the hashtag ABSWin. And let us know who you think is going to take this game, because I think it's quite close. Both of these teams sort of struggling in their first game, really desperately wanting to put a win onto the board.
They've both got a lot to prove coming into this second game. And arguably a very close game between these two teams will determine who's going to start off strong in this season, or who's going to have to learn from their losses and really start to improve coming later into the season. Both team comps, though, extremely strong and they have their own unique strengths within that. They've got the Nautilus, who can really enable a Jarvan gank. They've got everything going for them in that sense. Whereas you look at the other side of the map, and there is just pressure in lanes and individual strengths that they can bring to the table.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of looking at this bottom lane plus jungle combination, which is where you often see that Jarvan coming into a gank. But I'm sort of seeing it as like Thresh Rek'Sai being almost a better version of Jarvan Nautilus, maybe with slightly less CC.
To a degree, I wouldn't say that Thresh is better than Nautilus. They do both have hooks, so that would be where the similarity lies. Thresh is more utility, I guess, with having the Lantern available, can enable ganks a lot easier. That is correct. But then the Nautilus is just a massive tanky CC bot that walks up to you and auto-attacks you. And also, the early damage that a Nautilus puts out is higher, because the Riptide can hit multiple times, and the cooldown is about 5 seconds at level 1.
Wow. Okay. And of course, now scales with level into that ability as well. So a little bit more consistent damage available there for Nautilus as he does level up throughout the game. But what I was referring mostly to is the fact that Rek'Sai sort of, you tunnel in and you've got more reliable of a knock up there in the Unburrow, whereas Jarvan, you really have to make sure you're nailing that EQ combo.
That's true. And it's very difficult to execute, especially having to work with the Nautilus, who pulls people back and out of what could potentially be the flag and drag combo. So it needs to be perfect with synergy when the gank comes out, and they do need to work it out quite well. But if the Jarvan gank is successful, I would say just as impactful, if not more, than what an early game Rek'Sai's damage can do.
Yeah. And another thing that I want to talk about as well is the fact that Shiny, he's picked up the Tristana. This is an interesting pick, of course, known for being able to push down turrets very, very early, but there hasn't quite been enough experimentation with the new iteration of Tristana to find out exactly where she fits in the meta at the moment. And how do you think it's going to work in this team comp?
Well, the only time we have seen Tristana in the OPL thus far has been a split-pushing Tristana from Tallywacker, and that seems to be exclusively what the Tristana was looking to do. And granted, he does play a lot of Sivir Shiny. Putting him onto this Tristana, they do very similar things when it comes to pushing down turrets, and that is they do it quickly. Yeah,
and you also shove those minion waves very, very fast as well, what with the explosive shot in comparison to, say, the Ricochet and the Boomerang.
Yeah, that's right. You push down waves quite comparatively, I suppose, and the difference is the range coming into the later games, and Shiny's going to be comfortable on the low-range carry of a Tristana, very similar to the Sivir early, but starts to ramp up with levels, becomes longer and longer, and can do more in team fights. Just has this difference in a late game where the Sivir's going to still be relevant for the ultimate. The Tristana's going to not have it's going to have more of a combat ultimate, not an enabling ultimate like the On the Hunt.
Yeah, and you can also self-peel a little bit as well, so the team is going to be facilitated in either peeling instead for the Azir, which is going to be pumping out a heck of a lot of late-game damage, really does need that protection because he's going to be squishy, or they can be just diving into the backline of the enemy team.
Yeah, it's going to be relative to how the team fight starts. If they get the Nara initiation straight off the bat, it's very possible for the Tristana to be able to self-peel. They may not even need to peel for the Azir, but it is a very viable option for them to do so.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hopping onto the Rift. Absolute taking on Sudden Fear here, and Absolute already stacked up as a full 5 as we head into the Rift. And I'm just excited to see how this top lane goes because, of course, Jack Attack and Robosan are sort of known as being these players that really want to help carry their teams through. And Jack Attack has been... He's the main veteran of this side. I mean, Mattress is there now, but he's still a substitute as... Ooh, Robosan is going to have to skill that bounce first, head up over that wall, but his ward does survive.
Yeah, having to level the bounce up this early, though, will be a little bit of level 1 pressure out the window. And may work in the favor of Jack Attack, who might opt to do a jungle camp and get 2.
Yeah, that's true. Absolute. Really wanted to scout out any potential lane swaps that are going to come through. Of course, Sudden Fear with an answering ward very deep. Seems like Patu may have placed that slightly too close to the turret.
It does seem like it has been spotted, but should be okay. I believe it's behind the wall. And the ideal situation of that ward is that if the Lucian hits it, you still know where he's going.
Yeah, well, that's very, very true. We'll see if anyone is going to clear that one out before it times out. Jack Attack, though, is going to take away a Raptor camp, or maybe even just donate that over to mid-beast. You just chuck a couple there, and then you can distort over and pick up some easy experience and some extra gold there. But it looks like the lane swap is going to come through here for Absolute.
Yeah, they're going to enable the lane swap themselves, and has not been predicted early enough by the side of Sudden Fear. So it's going to be...
Oh, that's very cute, though. You can see Mattress actually cleared out the ward, but is still going to be able to utilize the lane swap situation.
So they're going to think that it's a 1v1 in the top lane, I guess, and then it's going to actually be the 1v2. So mind games coming out of Mattress right now.
Yeah, and I like it because Maokai often used in this sort of pseudo 2v2 matchup, sort of regular laning, but with the, you know, the ability that Maokai does have to farm from range with those saplings and, of course, the Arcane Smash a little bit.
And it might have even prompted a bit of a push in the bot lane, so the teleport from Jack Attack could come out even earlier. So the mind games might be playing on multiple levels in favor of Absolute.
Yeah, but is this going to suit a Tristana? Of course, the earlier you can get your push on, the more happy you are, aren't you?
Definitely, you want to start pushing, but you don't really have a choice if you level Explosive Shot in saying that. So the ideal situation for the 1v2 lane swap is that you freeze for about a single wave, maybe 2, if they're not pushing hard. It's responsiveness to what your opponent is doing on opposing sides of the map. So if the Tristana is pushing hard, you can choose to either freeze an extra wave and push in with more minions. It's all about doing the most damage to the tower at the appropriate time.
And it looks like some vertical jungling coming in here as Malik is going to try and steal away the blue buff. Of course, with the man advantage on the top side of the map, it is going to be working out. Mattress here doing some double jungling as well, taking away some of the experience, and the Gromp is going to be taken next. A little bit of aggression there in the mid lane as Christmas Trees is going to go down relatively low, but mid-based just putting on some pressure. Robo-Santa and Pink Bomey buddy system jungling this one out as well, and Robo-Santa not going to be punished as much for using that bounce early.
No, he's going to be able to at least get the level 2 from that, but you can see the response straight away from Malik is to come up top once the minion wave hit. So they waited for 3 minion waves. The stack was big. They had the cannon to back it up for tankiness.
Oh, Jack Attack.
And Jack Attack's going to take a bit of damage from that explosive shot, but that's not the real threat just yet.
No, Patu looking to get in for a death sentence or 2, but it's a very cute ward. He's going to save Jack Attack's life. Not going to save the life of the turret, though, as Sudden Fear are going to be pushing this one out as well. Explosive Shot able to be used on that turret is going to cause a little bit more trouble. Jack Attack trying to get in for some experience around here, but you can see already Absolute making this lane swap work a little bit more in their favor. They're up by a couple hundred gold.
Yeah, they've managed to use 3 members to push the top turret, and in response, the same amount of time taken will be the bottom turret, but it'll even take them a little bit longer. They have the extra member there. Jack Attack not getting all of the experience he would like, but still managing to steal some experience from this bot lane in a 1v4 is working out okay for him, and that's all you really want in this 1v2 lane swap is levels. He is ahead in levels on Robo Center.
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, Jack Attack 11-2 in farm. He's been able to use those saplings in order to get some here on the map, and Robo Center still level 2, unfortunately. Sudden Fear are going to be able to try and take this dragon only down to about 2/3 health, as Robo Santa is going to be able to get that Mega Gnar form. Immediately going to get exhausted as Patu's going to get dredgelined back into the team. Oh, mid-base first blood straight up there as Patu's going to fall down. A double kill already, and mid-base already showing exactly what he's capable of on these assassins. And man, Christmas Tree's not going to be happy there in the mid lane, wanting to now go up against a 2-0 LeBlanc.
And this was such a smart rotation from Absolute as well. They got the top turret. You might say it was a little bit delayed doing the Dragon from Sudden Fear. Going there, once the top turret was gone, they were able to just run straight to the Dragon. And they sacrificed the tower for tower trade, but you can see 2 kills now for the LeBlanc. Very comfortable in the mid lane after that trade. They've managed to pick up the Dragon themselves as well, and they caught Sudden Fear with their pants down.
Yeah, Christmas Tree's now going to struggle. Of course, mid-base hasn't been back to buy just yet, so the pain is going to be delayed for a moment. But Kulo now going to transition here to the bottom side as Shiny going to have to defend this one out. And really, they want to be getting their Tristana into other lanes where he can be, you know, shoving relentlessly, sort of what you're known to do on that Tristana, but unable to, forced to defend.
Yeah, having to defend is not Tristana's ideal situation. And I mean, realistically, it's going to be a 1v1 at this stage if they opt to get rid of Tristana and put the Lucian there, but they feel as though the pressure is so high that Patu wants to remain and wants to protect his AD carry for the moment. The big thing to note here is that Nautilus, as we're looking at right now, gets free roam to go wherever he likes, place vision wherever he feels is necessary, and they've got a Thresh stuck in the bottom.
Yeah, it is going to be a Pink Bomey heading around just to try and clear out some vision. Nice range on your Pink Ward, able to secure that ward kill. Pink Bomey going to continue to farm out just a little bit. Has got a little bit of an advantage as far as the CS is concerned in the jungle, but we haven't really seen too much from a Pink Bomey. Wasn't quite able to have an impact in the first 6 minutes, and we'll see what he can do moving forward now.
Yeah, the 1v2 lane swap is, I keep touching on it, but it's so important to note that the early pressure junglers really start to struggle in providing pressure in that early game. And going for the Jarvan pick is interesting because it does have an effective combat ultimate, which will do extra damage, whereas the Rek'Sai is only that neural network, that tunnel system, which can let you go across the entire map. It doesn't give damage, but as we can see, Stalking right now with his sonar bleeps might be looking to go in.
Yeah, Jack Attack. Spidey senses were tingling there. Nice little sapling. He's going to make sure that Pink Bomey is discovered. Actually doesn't want him to take the Gromp here as well. As Robo Santa is just going to continue farming this one out. 10 CS to 27 now, though, and Jack Attack really owning this lane as far as the result of the lane swap is concerned.
Yeah, so far you'd be calling it a big success in favor of Absolute for enabling and using it. Wow.
Oh my goodness, Patu with the god tier death sentence. Explosive shot is going to go off onto Kulo as well, down to about half health, but Mattress getting a bit excited here as Jack Attack had teleported in towards the bottom side. Kulo, relentless pursuit. There's the flash over the wall, but Jack Attack, he's going to find Shiny. Death Sentence not going to save Patu's life as Midbeast is going to head back to the distortion. Shiny survives it, but they do pick up another kill on the LeBlanc.
And another great rotation here from the side of Absolute. They're foreplanning everything that's happening. You can see they push up in the bot lane. They're too far out of position, and LeBlanc seems to be successfully controlling this mid lane that she can disappear. Jack Attack using that teleport, always available, and Jack Attack so smart with his teleport usage. Straight there in the bot lane. Suddenly it's a 2v4 situation. Good of the Tristana to be able to live, having to use the flash, of course, saving heal, thankfully. But Absolute find another thing in favor of them.
Yeah, and that was off the back of a pretty beautiful death sentence there from Patu, threading the needle like nobody's business. Shiny sort of probably wants that buster shot in order to deal with a mid-beast going all in on him, but in the end is just going to be clearing out this wave, and that's what you want to be doing with the Tristana. Put them where they can hit a turret.
Exactly. Get them where they can even get solo experience as much as possible. The whole time Christmas Trees is doing blue buff, Shiny finds the opportunity to leech some experience and get that jungle tax essentially as an AD carry because they need Tristana to keep farming if they want to
Jack
scale.
Attack might be in trouble here in the top lane though. Does get hyper procced. Oh, Boomerang not going to land. Robo Center about to get into that Mega Gnar form, but it's a little bit too late. Patu wants to find the death sentence. There it is. The Ignite going to finish it off. Bloodthirsty support action here in the top lane.
Patu actually throwing out the lantern, but nobody opting to take it. So
you got this one, mate.
That's it. Taking action into his own hands and securing it with another great death sentence. And Patu is on point with these hooks right now.
Yeah, especially the last two that he's thrown out. And, I mean, Jack Attack knew exactly what was happening, but stuck between a wall and a death sentence, you're not going to be having a good time.
No, there's nowhere really to run in that situation. So putting him into the wall, very smart, saving the hook for as long as possible. And the response comes out, they get a turret each.
Yeah, turret in the bottom lane and the top, though, so mirroring one another, 2 turrets apiece. 2,000 gold is now the lead, though, as Christmas Trees is going to get aggressed on there by Mid-Beast, but just heads back to his distortion. He's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, Mid-Beast looking to put down some hurt, not necessarily thinking
Sending a message.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to say that this is my lane, I am 3-0-0, and you need to respect that. So making some hurt come down onto him, but no real kill pressure just yet.
Not quite. Christmas Trees, he's going to go for sort of the greedy Morellonomicon here. I thought maybe he'd pick up the Athene's on Holy Grail instead, just because he probably wants some earlier magic resist, but not going to be the case. Sticking with the Morellonomicon as his choice, but is even on farm exactly here at this stage, and Mid-Beast unable to put quite that much pressure on him just yet.
Yeah, there's no massive amounts of kill pressure. The fact he's gone for the Morellonomicon indicates that there will be kill pressure, but also indicates that he wants some help.
Yeah, I think Bomi, nice use of that burrow is going to get him to safety. The sapling, little soccer ball just hanging out over the side of the wall. Scouting people out. Christmas Trees continues to farm. Oh, Shiny in a lot of trouble. Has to use that rocket jumpers. There's the culling. Oh, Shiny has to try and get to the lantern. Makes it after using the heal. So that is going to be an ultimate for a heal trade, but Kulo did use his flash.
That was really cute. Using the heal made him fast enough to dodge the piercing light from the Lucian. So actually helping him survive there by a fair amount of health. And the lantern conveniently coming out, Part 2 in the right place at the right time on multiple occasions now.
Yeah, nicely played here by Part 2. They do have vision of this second dragon going down for Absolute, but I'm not sure whether Sudden Fear are going to be able to do anything about it. Pink Bomi was looking for an opportunity, but in the end, not going to be able to do anything. Is just going to clear out his red camp. Robo-Santa split pushing here in the top lane. But as far as scaling is concerned, you have to think that Sudden Fear probably have a slight advantage if we get to the ultra late game with both of these teams.
They definitely do. They have the Tristana, who's only just now bought that BF sword, so starting to get some items in favor. And the Azir always scales insanely well the later that this game goes. And you can see even now, the pressure that he's putting onto the LeBlanc, you really need to win a trade straight outright,
wow.
or that will continue to happen, and you'll start to get pushed out of lane.
Yeah, the poke power that Christmas Trees is demonstrating here. Not going to be able to continue it because, of course, Kulo and Malik are going to deter the Birdman from continuing his assault, but Sudden Fear have grouped up now, looking to try and make something happen.
They're looking to pick a fight right now. Jack Attack not available, but the teleport is up as we speak, so he is going to be able to teleport now. I'm sure they had the timer on that roughly, so they're going to probably not look to fight at the moment. I'd say they'd look to just defend the turret, wave clear, and find maybe the LeBlanc if they want to fight at all.
Yeah, well, hasn't necessarily been working out for Sudden Fear thus far. Christmas Trees is going to be able to clear out these mini waves very effectively, and that's something Sudden Fear can hang their hat on. They've got wave clear for days.
They certainly do have wave clear, and especially even when the Gnar hits Mega Gnar, there's no real way to get past them. They're going to have to dive here on the side of Absolute if they're looking to get rid of the siege and the counter siege and the wave clear that Sudden Fear have to offer. And at the moment, they're going to look to reassess what they're doing. They can't really just sit mid and let the Tristana and the Azir get some free farm elsewhere. They're going to have to reassess, and maybe they want to go to a side lane or push someone else to the side lane so that they can go back mid again, because it is the only outer turret lane.
Yeah, draw some pressure off maybe somewhere else, because that actually gave Sudden Fear a little bit of an advantage there. Getting some farm on that Tristana, catching back up. Of course, now things have been changed just a little bit, as Kulo is going to cull out this wave. Able to head back, possibly pick up that Infinity Edge relatively soon, as Shiny's going to be taking down these Krugs. Patu, give him a little bit of a helping hand there. No, actually decides not to. It's a bit rude.
He's going to go and get these relic stacks on the cannon. Severely more important to the Thresh support. Needs to get that out straight away. So ignoring the Krugs, not a bad idea.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You redeemed yourself there, Patu, as Rusty has saved you from my wrath. Not that there is any. Not sure what that was really about.
Quite easy to save him.
Continue farming out this lane. 5 CS behind. 4. 2. It's absolutely fine. It's very, very close. Jack Attack going to be heading back to base, possibly picking up that Righteous Glory if he can. Up by about 10, but Robo-Santa with the wave in his favor. And almost has the Randuin's Omen. So going for more of a team fighting now build.
Yeah, he's going to have to go for the team fighting build. He needs something soon to compensate for the fact that the rest of his team are looking to scale into the later game. So if you go for something for a mid-game, which is why I really like the idea that he's gone for the Randuins first, it's so much better for team fighting opposed to the Black Cleaver, which isn't necessarily instant team fighting stats and does require more items to ramp up later. So sacrificing damage that he deals to allow or rely on his team to do it.
Yeah, Shiny actually flashing away from Jack Attack here as the Buster Shot going to knock the tree, trying to get under the tower, but my god! The burst damage from this absolute lineup pretty high, and that is one very dead Tristana.
That was a lot of burst, and Jack Attack using the Twisted Advance at the same time as the Tristana ult, not actually having any effect on him as he just casually advanced on top of his target and then smashed him around a bit.
Yeah, arcanely smashed him around a bit, one could say. Pink Bomey is going to get stunned up here just a little bit. Wants to try and take the lantern, but Mattress, he's too fat sitting on the lantern. Bomey's going to die. Beautiful play by this Nautilus. The box is going to save Patu, attemptedly, as Jack Attack, he's going to get around the backside. Emperor's Divide going to stop Absolute from trying to get down on this one, but the Cataclysm on top of both of the members. Christmas Trees able to save himself. Mid-beast very, very low. The shutdown comes through. But 3 dead for 1. Absolute walkout on top. 7-2 now.
A quick rotation from bottom to mid, catching him out of position, and so smart from Mattress to sit on top of that lantern and deny it. You can tell Rek'Sai, a Pink Bomey, wanted to get that lantern. He actually wasted a lot of time expecting to get to the lantern and ended up just meandering around a little bit, going down. As we're going to have a look at a replay of this and just watch Mattress. It's the Mattress show from start
Nautilus.
to finish. Completely denying any chance of a Pink Bomey, and he sat around there for way too long. Mid-Beast follows this up using a flash to make sure the chains hit. They manage to secure a second kill. They do take a lot of damage from the Azir, who ends up making a trade in the end on Mid-Beast. Gets a little bit aggressive, and the Jarvan Cataclysm, they were going to go down regardless. And that's a lot of damage right there from the Absolute lineup, and aptly timed by their spikes.
Yeah, well, this is the thing as well, is the fact that Absolute have just managed to time their roams really, really effectively, able to pick up objectives afterwards. They pick up a kill, transition that into more kills than an objective. They know where to go after getting a small amount of success on this map, and that's a sign of a good team.
Exactly. It's crazy to see the transition from week 1 to week 2. They look so much more confident in this game. Every rotation they play is completely methodical, and it's great.
Yeah, it's not even week 1 to week 2. It's day 1 to day 2. And I mean, if they keep this level of improvement up, I mean, I don't know what to expect towards the end. I mean, watch out EDG, I guess.
Yeah, well, if they level up this quickly, that's a potential opportunity in the end. But coming into this game right now, it is a sizable lead in favor of Absolute, as we have been talking about them doing quite well for themselves, getting 3,000 gold. And the Dragon win condition, very evident.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shutout here at the beginning of this one. Almost 4,000 gold, like you did say, and 3 dragons to none is what it looks like it's going to be here. Teleport, actually, from Robo-Santa. Does he have the Mega Nara available as Pink Bomey? Nice knock-up. Doesn't manage to get the dragon, though. Mattress, very, very low. Emperor's Divide not managing to do too much there as Malik. He's going to fall down as well. Pink Bomey, you're in so much trouble. Gets through the tunnel, but not going to survive for too much longer as Shiny. Oh my goodness, that's a heck of a lot of LeBlanc damage. And Jack Attack, he's searching around for an Azir. See whether he manages to find it. I have a feeling he's probably going to be able to, as Christmas Trees just wants to be able to pick up as much farm as he can. Robo-Santa looks like he is going to be able to dodge out of the way of this one. Patu has respawned, but it's just going from bad to worse here for Sudden Fear.
It's starting to feel like, wow, Robo-Santa wants this.
Yeah, actually narring Mid-Beast into the wall there. Misses the boulder. And the chains are going to land here as well. Mid-Beast very, very low on mana, though, so I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to secure this one. No more distortions going to be available just yet. And the Nar's going to limp away.
Now, it felt like a little bit of a desperation decision there from Sudden Fear. Third dragon does give move speed, but it puts you that 1 dragon closer to a real win condition of having the 5th buff. And they decided on a whim that they needed to fight that. Nah, not being mega hurt them a lot because he put himself into a dangerous position straight away and was not able to actually do anything or provide any usefulness for his team for about the 5 to 10 second period that it took to ramp up. And in fact, by the time that had started to happen, the rest of his team got decimated by the damage that a LeBlanc is dealing.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Jack Attack now with the Frozen Heart in his back pocket. We've got a Rabbidan's Death Cap for mid base. That's the 2-item spike of a LeBlanc that everyone's frightened of if you're against her. And a 3-0-2 Lucian now with those Berserker's Greaves and, of course, the Infinity Edge. It's a very scary lineup of Absolute, and they've got a lot of power right now.
In terms of items, it's not really evident how far ahead the Lucian seems to be of the Tristana. The only key difference is the fact that the boots are upgraded. So I would imagine that Lucian has a bit of money to recall with. He's got the Zeal now. So there you go. The lead is starting to have an impact as Shiny's just liking to throw his cannon around a little bit.
Yeah, just pegging it about. That's absolutely fine. Avarice Blade now picked up as well here for Kulo, who's almost got that static Shiv in his back pocket, unless he's going to go for a Ghost Blade plus Phantom Dancer combo, which would be kind of cute. Make sure that you just have as much money as you possibly can.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that at 20 minutes
sounds bad.
To make that
sounds
decision.
bad, but he could still do it if he wants to.
It's possible.
It's a free world, Rusty. It's a free world. If you want to build Ghost Blades, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it's his own choice. I will not question him if he goes to do it. I will just say now that it might not be a good idea.
It's not optimal, but it's cute.
It is very cute.
But Shiny now looking to try and scale up into this game. Does have the Berserker's Greaves, so went back with at least 225 gold. Now looking for potentially the Phantom Dancer or the Static Shiv. We'll see what this Tristana decides to go with. Of course, if you want even more pushing power, the Static Shiv is going to work out. But Absolute now thinking about brute forcing this bottom lane in a turret, already down to half health as they're trying to... Oh, another beautiful Death Sense on Kulo. Uses the heal to try and escape the damage. Sudden Fear have now all collapsed here to the bottom side. And I think that Death Sentence may have just saved the turret.
He's trying his hardest to get this team through the mid-game plateau that they're starting to have right now. Patu hitting all of these amazing death sentences, and they're going to have to try and defend something sooner or later. You can tell the amount of damage and the amount of control that Absolute are just putting onto this map right now. And they're starting to really want to use their spikes that they have, the advantages that they've now accrued over time, and really find a bigger lead than what they have at the moment.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about Sudden Fear's play just there was the fact that they collapsed on that bottom lane with the rest of their lanes in perfect control there for the team. As a Pink Bomie, going to have to try and deal with Jack Attack here, who's going very aggressive on the tree. Not worried about much at all.
Going to have a pretty hard time stopping Jack Attack over a prolonged period of time. And Malek even coming down. They want this bottom tower again. Pushing people into the mid lane, rotating straight away. Absolute seem to have a plan of where they want to go and when they want to go. And it's working so far.
Yeah, they are going to try and do something. Nice Nara to the wall there as Malek's taking a whole lot of damage from the turret. Malek's going to fall down, but we'll see whether this is going to be the end as the turret does fall finally. Mid-Beast and Jack Attack just double teaming there. Robo Santa now caught out as well. He's going to die. And Christmas Trees and Shiny, the last two members alive, the squishy damage dealers, and they're unable to follow up.
Mid-Beast doing absurd amounts of damage at the moment. So difficult for the Sudden Fear lineup to deal with. They've got the Jarvan, who they have to get rid of first. Using the Nara ultimate just before it ran out. Had to go down straight away and only really getting the Jarvan. So they took the kill. It was a great initiation. And Christmas Trees...
Oh, dear. There's the Emperor's Divide, but it's not going to do anything. And Kulo's eventually going to lock down that kill. 6-0-3 now for the Lucian. 7-1-5 for Mid-Beast, though.
We're going to have a look at what happened in that last fight. And you can see... Before it all begins, Robo Santa almost out of Mega now, so having to use the ult straight away. And after using it, the rest of his team getting destroyed by the damage from Jack Attack. And watch this, the Blanc damage, absolutely ridiculous, just decimating them. The rest of the team in shambles, just trying their best to run away. But Absolute are so strong at the moment, they've really come into their stride at this stage in the game, and even before that fight started, that Sudden Fear on struggle street until further notice.
Yeah, that's true. And don't worry. Your pun did not go unnoticed. 8,000 gold now the lead here for Absolute, as it's 15-5. 3 dragons to 0, though. This is the really scary thing for Sudden Fear, is they don't have a whole lot of hope of scaling into this game. 5 seconds until the 4th dragon has spawned, and that 5th dragon only going to be approximately 6 minutes away, and Absolute can just close out this game.
Yeah, if they manage to secure this straight away, which does seem like there's no way for them to stop it. That is now 4 dragons at 24 minutes into the game. They started with that first dragon extremely quickly after they capitalized on Sudden Fear doing it too late from the lane swap. And now they've got 4 of them already. 30 minutes with the 5th dragon buff is going to be so hard to stop.
Yeah, and it just looks like Sudden Fear, ever since that lane swap was so successful, Absolute have just had their number. Patu, though, just going to get exploded there as Kulo, he goes godlike. Robo Santa forced to use the bounce defensively as well as the Emperor's Divide, but it's not going to get rid of Jack Attack, who's just destroying these guys. Double kill now for Kulo as Sudden Fear on full retreat, and this could just spell Baron.
This could definitely be the Baron. It does seem to be the likely next plan of attack. Absolute right now. Jack Attack, no hesitation. Going straight in, does not care who it's on. They instantly kill Patu. From there, they may not even want the Baron just yet. They're going to get people low before they even consider looking at it. They've got such a big advantage, they may not even want to risk it and just go straight away for this turret in the top lane, where they have that brute strength from the sieging potential. They've got the front line, Malik, Mattress, Jack Attack, and then they've got the damage in the back line that you can't even get to, but it can get to you very easily.
Yeah, oh my goodness, I thought that was actually a person dying there as mid-base did go aggressive, but it is just going to be the turret falling down. Sudden Fear shiny with about 400 health, as this Tristana is very small and very scared in the wide world of Summoner's Rift. Absolute have really shut them out of a whole lot, and this is the danger of picking this scaling type team comp.
Yeah, they did need some scaling. We mentioned that in the champion select because the 3 champions they've got right now.
Mid-Beast might be in trouble there. Nice play to come back, and Patu's going to lock down the kill.
Patu managing to get another kill, doing so much work with these hooks, and you have to give him credit right now. Being 10,000 gold behind and still managing to make plays like that is so very commendable and the sign of an excellent support.
Yeah, and Patu's been managing to find some fantastic plays, but it just seems like the team of Sudden Fear don't quite know strategically what to do and how to get themselves ahead in the early stages of the game. It's now, you know, a 9,000 gold lead at 26 minutes. It's looking very difficult for Sudden Fear, but all of them sort of individually have had plays that have been impressive this game.
They do. Individually, their skills have been definitely worth noting as Christmas Trees almost going down to a neutral minion. They want to fight.
Yeah, that is not exactly proof there. As, oh my goodness, the burst damage to come out here. Sudden Fear in a lot of trouble now as Absolute are looking to try and close in on some kills. Decent use of the scrying orb there, at least spots them out, but there's the dredge line. A pink Bomi, he's going to fall down from that one. The damage from this Azir, just not what you'd expect at this stage of the game, and that just shows how far ahead Absolute are and how huge these tanks are.
That's right, they are very far ahead. You'd almost give Baron the MVP of that fight before it even began. Christmas Trees on about 500 health, so he wasn't able to be a part of the decision that they had made to fight. And you question why they even wanted to fight in that scenario when they were quite far behind. Again, it may be a sign of a desperate team looking to find their way back into this game.
Yeah, it does seem to be something like that. Kulo, though, 8-0-4, the legendary Lucian in this game, really having a standout performance. And this is a player that we haven't really seen much of if we're thinking about, you know, the last couple of years of Oceanic League of Legends really come out and finally sort of showing up here for Absolute.
Yeah, from the limited knowledge that we do have of Kulo, we know that if he gets ahead, he loves to keep that advantage. And even when the rest of his team seems to be on the back foot, if Kulo is even 2-0, he starts to put his team on his back and he can carry extremely hard. So doing a lot of work in this game right now. And not to forget Mid-Beast, of course, getting 2 early kills. And wow, he is ahead.
He most certainly is. Seems to be quite a beast in the mid lane there. Golf clap.
You had to.
I certainly did. Kulo going to take a bit of damage here from Christmas Trees. You can't really discount an Azir almost at any stage of the game after he picks up a Rabbidan's Death Cup. Death Cup?
Yes, he does have the Rabbidan's Death Cup.
Yep, the Death Cup of Destiny.
Starting to do a lot of damage now. He is very far behind you. I'm saying it's a Luden's Echo from the LeBlanc because we spoke about how scary the 2-item spike is for a LeBlanc.
Oh,
try the Luden's Echo 3-item spike that can come out, especially when you are far ahead. So, though he is behind, the Death Cap is going to help a lot, at the very least in wave clear. And you can see what the damage that he just did to Kulo even. You do have to respect it if you are Absolute.
Yeah, and I guess one thing to be noted here is the fact that Sudden Fear could potentially take advantage of the fact that Absolute, a newer team, may not necessarily understand quite how to close out a game very early. Of course, they're probably going to wait for a minute, pick up a 5th dragon if they can. We'll see whether they're ahead far enough for them to be able to make a decisive victory happen, because if they leave this one go too long, Sudden Fear may stand a chance of sort of capitalizing on their lack of decisiveness.
That's right. It's something that Absolute do have to consider, is the scaling potential that can come out of Sudden Fear. They've got Shiny on the Tristana and Christmas Trees on the Azir. Both of those champions, if unattended for the next 5 to 10 minutes if they don't lose inhibitors for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and ideally stop this dragon that's up in 35 seconds. There's a lot of factors you do have to consider on the side of Sudden Fear to stop this game from accelerating too rapidly and allow your 2 carries to start doing some serious damage. The Tristana, only with the Infinity Edge and the Zeal and then a dagger to boot, is so far behind what is being offered from Kulo right now that they're going to need something just short of a miracle, and it will most likely start with the Dragon Steel.
Oh my goodness. The amount of items that Absolute are ahead. Luden's Echo now just been picked up by Mid-Beast. The casual QSS plus Vamp Scepter that Kulo's now got in his back pocket. Not to mention the Righteous Glory now completed by Jack Attack. Explosive Shot is on top of the tree here, but there's the initiation as Mattress is getting in, and oh my goodness, Kulo, yet again, Legendary Robo Center looks like a squishy champion here on this tanky. Now he's going to burn to death. Actually, no, going to survive for now as Malik's going to flash forward. There's a double knock-up. Shiny uses the heal, but that's not going to work. Absolute clean house, and Robo Center now provides a collective approximately 4 health for the entirety of Sudden Fear.
Yeah, it goes to really show how this game has gone from start to finish right now. Mid-Beast getting a kill with the Luden's Echo, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Secure that kill. Jarvan hitting the perfect knock-up, and it wasn't even that they did the dragon. They just baited the dragon and forced Sudden Fear to fight in a bad position, given the amount of gold that was in their favor. And they've now picked up an inhibitor. They can just go straight back to the dragon and rinse and repeat until the game either finishes from forfeit or they do pick it up and can try and siege.
Yeah, they're going by the books on this one. 16,000 gold ahead, though, now for Absolute as they've taken down the first inhibitor. They've broken the base. 5th dragon. Burn, baby, burn indeed. Here for Absolute as Baron's not even up yet. Not too worried about that, and Absolute have just been in full control this whole game. And what I've really loved is seeing this level of objective control from a team that we didn't necessarily expect too much from coming into the OPL.
That's right. The only thing that I was really expecting from them was solid teleport ganks and decision-making in the bot lane, translated from the top lane experienced player of Jack Attack. But the entire side right here of Absolute are doing so much work and really coming together as a team, which is, I guess, surprising. They are in the OPL, so they should have at least the base skills that it requires to be in the Pro Leagues. But they are starting to blow that out of the water with the control they have against the team of Sudden Fear, who are in their seconds, but at least 2 of the members very experienced and control players. They're now 16,000 gold ahead, 5-0 in Dragons. Everything is going so well for Absolute that they almost look like they've been here for a very long time.
Yeah, and
Look how big Mattress is.
He's very, very large. I mean, he could stand on almost any lantern. You could barely see that it even exists, I believe, at this stage. Another casual Void Staff for Mid-Beast as well. Oh, that Dredge line was so incredibly close. Mid-Beast, cute little chain, is going to take half the health of the
casual.
Foamy. He's going to have to probably go back and heal.
Yeah, no big deal. Just 5 dragons and 3 massive items ahead.
Yep, not too bad at all. They're just going to wait casually and calmly for this mid-wave to push in. No, they're not. They're just going to pop the Righteous Glory and go aggressive. The turret is going to be the first target here. That's going to fall down very quickly. Inhibitor short to follow now as Mid-Beast. Oh my goodness, Patu. I believe he's getting burnt down there as well by the Dragon buff as he has to go back and heal. There's a huge wave in the top lane as well, but the Nexus turrets are falling down. Robo Center about to get into Mega Gnar form, wants to find it there. Emperor's divide into the wall at the same time as Sudden Fear haven't quite lost a member yet. Robo Center, though, is going to fall down first as Kulo trying to get some auto attacks onto that turret. Sudden Fear not looking to go down without a fight, but Absolute still with all of their members alive. Their tanks soaking up the damage. The Nexus is now exposed. Christmas trees getting obliterated now as the piercing light from Kulo going to come through. An Absolute with a shutout of a game.
They tried their hardest to defend their Sudden Fear, but Absolute with that 5th Dragon buff overwhelmed their opponents. And they were so impressive in that game from the very beginning. You doing the lane swap themselves, they were the ones enabling that.